At 5 seconds, I will give myself 15 seconds to read the quotation. Open. In the 2023 Oscars, everyone applauded as Brendan Fraser ended up winning for Best Actor in a Leading Role. One of the many reasons because of this was it was his welcome back to Hollywood. He was blacklisted from Hollywood for years after being assaulted by a member of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which has since disbarred. When he tried speaking up about this, they blacklisted him and casted him away from roles, trying to hush him before he ultimately came out and spoke about it again during the Me Too movement. This is a tragic story for Brendan. However, he persevered and pushed through this. He used his voice to speak out and ultimately, as previously stated, ended the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. They are currently trying to still achieve those bonds with others and those who have struggled with this situation. And through the quotation by Jackie Randolph, we gotta be quiet. We can't talk loud. We can't have fun. I had to disagree with this quotation. For although sometimes speaking out can provide dire consequences at first, which is what happened with Brendan Fraser, it can ultimately lead to greatness, which that is what happened with Brendan Fraser. Although it was difficult for him to speak out and was ultimately cast aside for a moment, he was brought back up to light and had amazing accomplishments from this. We can examine through those who have spoken out and ruined things for others, all the way to those who have spoke out and how speaking out can provide truth and can save us. First and foremost, the reason why it's difficult for people to speak out is from those who have done it beforehand and pretty much ruined entire situations. We hear this on an almost semi-daily basis, how there are celebrities out there who release a quotation and it is absolutely abysmal. We can examine this through J.K. Rowling as well as Gina Carano. J.K. Rowling had everything for her. She actually used to be a billionaire but then lost it because she donated so much money to charity. She had a famous book series, a phenomenal story, and ultimately had every good thing going for her. However, she decided to speak up on her opinions of the transgender community and completely obliterated any positive image that people had towards her. Her transphobia casted many people away from the Harry Potter franchise and ultimately got her removed from the franchise as a whole. Any type of movie, video game, or any press release from the Harry Potter franchise casted her away film-wise. Moving on to the other part of the spectrum is Gina Carano. Gina Carano, a famous wrestler who turned to acting, had a famous role in The Mandalorian. She would post things that were controversial online until finally Disney fired her for one in particular. She described being a Republican was just as bad as being a Jewish person in the Holocaust. That is not something you can compare yourself to. Because of this, they fired her, and she is currently trying to have a lawsuit against the Disney company because she was wrongfully sued for freedom of speech. That is absolutely not what was going on. For whenever she described this, many people in the community were absolutely mortified by this. That is a comparison you cannot make, and she is suffering the consequences from it. Through Gina Carano as well as J.K. Rowling, we can examine just why speaking out sometimes can be so dire. Because when people do speak out, they say all the wrong things. However, just because there are these wrong sentences does not mean that people are not fighting for justice. They are not simply just awful people. There are people out there who are trying to find truth in this world. We can examine this through Sashing Littleflower as well as Greta Thunberg. Sashing Littleflower is a Native American advocate who passed away a few years ago, and she's most notably known for accepting Marlon Brando's Oscar for his role in The Godfather. When giving the speech, she explained that she had a minute of time, and if she did not stop talking, they would arrest her. If she did not accept the award, they would arrest her. And she was talking peacefully about reparations between the Native American community as well as the Academy. Many people were booing her off the stage, with reports of some celebrities trying to attack her even. Although she was blacklisted for ages, she finally gained the respect she deserves and passed away peacefully, with many people loving and acknowledging her name. She left this world with a mark. In fact, the Academy is trying to mend fences with the Native American community where they have a coalition. She created that path. Finally, Greta Thunberg is a name that pretty much everybody seems to know these days. From advocating about climate change all the way to putting Andrew Tate in his position, she knows what it's like to struggle. She discusses the fact that she does not want to live in a world where her, about to get out of adolescence, is going to see a world destroyed. She's advocating for good and attempts to move that barrier and explain climate change to those who are confused by the situation. She's advocating for change and using her voice for good, demonstrating through her as well as Sashing Littleflower that although there are those who can use their voice for bad, speaking out is what ultimately helps save us and save this world, as cheesy as it may sound. Today, through seeing those who are speaking out for justice as well as those who have ruined the idea of speaking out, we can't affirm that the quotation, "We got to be quiet, we can't talk loud, we can't have fun" by Jackie Randolph is in fact incorrect. For although there are times it feels like you have to be silenced by those who simply are speaking nonsense, it is important to remember that speaking out is what will save us as a humanity. And although Brendan Fraser did have his issues at the time and was blacklisted, he came out on top with an award on top of it all.